Hello, everybody. Bill Thornton, SoCal Saber here. Thank you for stopping by. Well, it is Saturday, and what do we do on Saturdays? We listen to the sounds of the week, vinyl albums and CDs that I pulled from my collections to listen to during the week. And we're going to get to that in just a second. But if make sure you go down there and hit that like button if you liked it. If you don't like it, hit it anyway. Yeah. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. That helps the channel grow. Comments are big helpful too. So put stuff down there. Do you have any of these albums or CDs that I'm going to show you this week? If not, if you do, let me know how you liked them. If not, what did you listen to this week if you listened to anything? What's your favorite albums or your favorite CDs? Put something in there. I love hearing from you, and I'll get back with you. So I started this week off with a 2023 reissue of a 1973 album by Genesis, Selling England by the Pound. Do I like Genesis? Yeah, I do. I have 8 LPs and 2 CDs in my collection by Genesis. This was the 5th studio album by the English progressive rock band. Now, yes, this is prog rock. If you like prog and you like Mellotron and that, check this one out because this baby's got it in there. Following their big tour for their previous album, Foxtrot, they set aside time to write their music and their lyrics and so forth. And one of the themes that they came up with is the loss of the English folk culture, increased in American influence. That thought reflected the title of the album, Selling England by the Pound. The album was a commercial success in the UK, reaching number 3 in the UK charts, but not so much in the United States charts as it they said, reached number 70. Come on. The top 200. Some artists would love to would like to say, okay, we reached it. We're number 199. Number 7. I love it when they say 70. Single from the album I Know What I Like in Your Wardrobe was released in 74 and became the band's first top 30 hit on the UK singles chart. And it came in a nice polyline sleeve, which I like nowadays, that the companies are starting to take care of it. Really cool. Good. Clear vinyl. Found the album. I've listened to it last Sunday morning with my cup of coffee, sitting in my recliner, and I found it to be very relaxing and kickback music. If you like prog rock, check this baby out. This is the 2023 reissue of the 1973 album by Genesis, Selling England by the Pound. I looked for that for quite a while. I had it on my list, and I finally found it at a decent price, and it was new. I don't so much always look for the OG, for the original. I'll take reissues if I can find them because they normally, nowadays, to me, they sound better. They're not as old either. So, we're going to be moving on here. We're going to be moving on to 1980 album by Molly Hatchet. And this is the only thing I have by Molly Hatchet in my collection. So what not pick up, and this is in really good shape. This is the 3rd studio album by the American rock band. First to feature Jimmy Farrar, replaced the original singer Danny Joe Brown. The album charted in Canada and the US. It has been certified platinum. On this good old classic rock and southern rock. Here's some trivia for you. Ready? Molly Hatchet took its name from a prostitute who allegedly mutilated and decapitated her clients. One aspect of Molly Brown's image is that many of the band's album covers feature art inspired by heroic fantasy. Really, really good. Very dependable seller on Whatnot. Mentioned the album cover again. Let's look at it one more. So, still off a good run this week. The 1980 album, Beating the Odds by Molly Hatchet. All right, so now we're going on to another reissue. This is a 2025 reissue, a 1975 album. This will be a 50-year. Venus and Mars, Paul McCartney. As an obi, but it is not a Japanese issue. Release. It was the fourth studio album by the British American rock band Wings. The album was Paul McCartney's first post-Beatles album to be released worldwide on Capitol Records rather than Apple. Preceded by the single, Listen to What the Man Said, was a song that I really liked. Venus and Mars peaked at #1 in the US, the UK, and other countries around the world. The red and yellow cue balls on here, picked by Linda, and see how they are in the writing around here. Then the back. So I guess they were supposed to be the colors of the Venus and Mars planets. The inner cover for the album is just covered with them. Got a couple other things to show you here. We got here, going here. Got this, I guess this is a sticker showing you the different planets. If it's in the album, I'm not going to do anything else with it. And we got a little thing here, another sticker. A poster. Back a little bit so you can see it. In here. Paul McCartney and Linda. I don't know what we're reflecting where we're at. Maybe we're in New Orleans and Mardi Gras. Then we got another one. Again, we got the corner. Share my stuff better than that. We got pictures. That were actually taken in Mojave Desert. Reflect the outer worlds, I guess is what Lynn said. Here it says Venus and Mars are all right tonight. I don't know where that building exactly is, but believe it or not, I live in the Mojave Desert. If you look at the map, the Mojave Desert is gigantic. It could be anywhere and everywhere at the same time. But I think that was pretty cool. And I gotta live in there, at least in an area anyway. It's reflected in the album. Capitol album label. See again, the red, yellow ball. Oh, that was my 2025 reissue of the 1975 album Paul McCartney and Wings called Venus and Mars. Doing pretty good this week. I'm liking a lot of stuff. Okay, the next one is another Whatnot pickup. And this was the 2011 reissue of the 1991 album Gish, Gish, by Smashing Pumpkins. I now have 4 LPs in my collection by the Smashing Pumpkins, and this is the debut studio album by the American alternative rock band. And then sort of show you that in a second. Fold. Despite peaking only at 195 in the Billboard 200's list, received critical acclaim, in particular praise directed at the band's distinctive psychedelic sound, which I did like. The album was eventually certified platinum, at least 1 million sold in the U.S. It's since been ranked by multiple publications as one of the best rock albums of the 90s. Here, album. Same picture on the inside. It says Kodak 5052 TMX. Must be the type of film they were using or something. Or get Kodak in there so that they could break on the prices. Inner that came with it. Is in really good shape. This is from the same person that I bought the Molly Hatchet from. But the 4 albums I have by Smashing Pumpkins, at this point in time, I would say that this is arguably my favorite by them. I really liked it. Pretty neat. Good stuff. That was the 2011 reissue of the 1991 album Gish, however you want to pronounce it, Gish, Smashing Pumpkins. Yeah, the time of the week, it was time to look at some CDs, and I did get an extra CD in earlier than Thursday. Friday is normally a CD day, but a Tuesday night, I think it was, I had some extra time. So I wanted to finish up listening to the third album, solo album in the box set that I have by David Coverdale. This was Into the Light, 2000 album. Remastered and remixed it into the Light box set in 2024. This is the original remastered version. After David disbanded his Whitesnake in 1997, he wanted to recreate himself as a solo artist and so forth, and he went through this into it, trying to distance himself from Whitesnake. I don't know why he wanted to distance himself. I never understood that. I didn't read nothing about it. Anyway, some musical people commended him on doing a softer blues album instead of the hard rock stuff and Whitesnake, but then there were the others who lamented him for not sticking with the Whitesnake. I don't know. The record did chart in 6 different countries, peaking at number 5 on the UK rock and metal albums. Did like it. So that's completed me. I didn't want to listen to the whole box set. Now I listened to all 3 of the solo albums in there. There are 6 albums in it. I'll just show you a quick look at what it looks like in case anybody is shopping for it. Called Whitesnake Into the Light. Solo albums. So there's 6 of them in there, and there's a really nice book, and there's a poster in there. So the other one would be, there's remixes of the albums and remastered of the originals, and then there's outtakes and rarities. So pretty nice box set. But I now have listened to all of the solo albums. So if I listen to any more, then I won't view those ones. I won't be recording those. All right, so the next thing we're going to go to the 1990 album by Vaughan Brothers called Family Style. The only thing I have by both Jimmy and Steve in my collection, and I also have one LP and 3 CDs by Stevie. This is the only album featuring both of them. This early years, Stevie remarked that he would like to perform with his brother. This did come true, but unfortunately, it was Stevie's last studio performances, released nearly a month after his death, which I'll tell you about it. Although his mainstream career spanned only 7 years, Stevie, considered one of the most influential musicians in the history of the blues music, one of the greatest guitarists of all times. Died in a helicopter crash at the age of 36. Was up in Wisconsin doing a concert show, and Eric Clapton was on the bill also. So when it was over, they were going to leave via helicopter. The reason that they took a helicopter in and out of there is because there was only one road going into this area. It was always jammed by the people going, the attendees of the concert. So they would fly in and out of there. Well, after the concert, Eric Clapton went a different way, but his road manager got on there with Stevie and his people, and they got into the helicopter. They took off in bad weather, and it crashed. Every one of them died. What a big loss to the music world. I really like Stevie. That's the second one that had a guitarist died, and I didn't mention it before, but then at Venus and Mars album, Jimmy McCullough, who was on there and did some really nice guitar work on it, he also died at the age of 26. Let me look at my notes and see how old he was. 26 years old when he died. So this wasn't a good week for the history of my guitarist on what I was listening to. All right, moving right along here. Going to another 1990 album by Eric Johnson called Via Musicom. Musicom. It was the second studio album by Eric. Reached number 67 on the Billboard's 200 and remained there for 60 weeks. All 4 singles charted, 3 of them being top 10 hits. High Landrum's at 31, Righteous at 8, Cliffs of Dover at 5, and Trademark at 7. Cliffs of Dover went on to win the award for the Best Rock Instrumental Performance at the 1992 Grammys. This is a good album. I have 2 CDs by him in my collection. I don't remember right now if the other one was the first one by him or not. But I did see him live. I'll tell you about it here in a second. This was before this album. This is before his first album. He was just getting to try to get his name spread a little bit. He was on a tour in the small theaters, and I went down to Ontario, California, to a very small theater down there, see him in concert. I mean, it was really like one of the old movie theaters. You remember how small they were? Well, anyway, he also had Sarah McLachlan opening for him. Nobody knew who she was at that time either. She was just getting started. But I remember saying, oh, boy, she's got a nice voice. We've got to try to follow her. Eric Johnson, really good that day. This concert was so loud in that small theater that my ears rang for a week after that. But I was very happy that I won. I really, really enjoyed it. It got me into a semi-following him. I unfamiliar with his further history after this. What he's done, what he was up to, I should really have looked that up before I started talking to you about it. That was a 1990 album by Eric Johnson titled A Via Musicom. Good stuff this week. This was a tough week in deciding which one. Remember, I'm going to show you which ones I like the most at the end. Well, the next one, the 1977 album by a group that I have 3 LPs, 5 CDs, and a 4 CD box set in my collection. This album, Rumours. Good man. What a great album. This is the 11th studio album by the British American rock band Fleetwood. What I understand, the recording sessions took place. The band members were dealing with breakups and heavy drug, both which shaped the album's direction and lyrics. Rumours became the band's first #1 album on the UK albums chart. Also topped the US Billboard 200. It received multiple platinum certifications in Australia, Canada, Denmark, New Zealand, the UK, and the US. As of February 2023, Rumours has sold over 40 million albums worldwide. My goodness. Just think if even after all the cuts, you got to pay this guy, you got to pay this guy, you got to pay this guy, you got to pay this guy. Say the albums were selling for $10, and maybe Fleetwood Mac only gets $3 back on it. That'd be $120 million just for that. I understand that, I may be wrong, in 2024, this was still one of the top selling albums last year. That is crazy, but it is good. It's worth it. Everybody should have this in their collection. I will say that this time. Some people consider it the greatest album. I like it. My original from 1977, VG Condition. I'd say VG Plus. There was a little bit of a skip in one of the songs on the second side, but I don't think it was enough to detract it from VG. So I can say it was, side 1 was VG Plus, side 2 was VG, strong VG. Right? Use terms I'm not really familiar with at all. Anyway, I know a little bit about the rating scale, but not all. So this was a very good week, and this was a tough week for me to choose. 2 that I liked the most, that I had the most fun with. Well, without a doubt, the one that came in on the top was Rumours by Fleetwood Mac. That is such a great album, good, great songs on it. Now the next battle for, because I only picked 2, and sometimes there's things getting crazy. The next battle was between Venus and Mars and Selling England by the Pound by Genesis. And I picked Selling England by the Pound by Genesis. I found it so relaxing and kickback and enjoyable music and the prog rock and the Mellotron and everything last Sunday when I was listening to it that I just had to top it a little bit by the Venus and Mars album. So let me know, what would you have picked out of this list? And watch for us every Saturday. This is a spinning, also goes by the name of Spinning. But this is a weekly show, and I appreciate you stopping by. Take care of yourselves out there. Be kind to each other. Stay safe.